The Bahamas has made significant progress in the fight against HIV/AIDS. Reports reveal that 156 new reported cases and just under 4,000 people living with HIV in the country at the end of 2024. The largest age group with HIV is 30 to 39 years, accounting for 36% of the infections. We're discussing the topic today with the president of the AIDS Foundation, Ms. Arame Ford. Arame, welcome. You're looking absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
How do you feel today?
I'm well. I'm encouraged. I'm
Good.
encouraged because we're doing better.
Good, Arame. So I have a series of questions, Arame. We want to find out more. We want to give the Commonwealth of the Bahamas more information on exactly what's going on. How encouraging are the stats showing a downward trend in HIV and AIDS in the Bahamas?
So it's very encouraging. I am, however, concerned. Our direction is extremely encouraging. But I think the more we begin to speak about these amazing numbers, people are tending to let their guard down. And that is my concern, because we see that there's an uptick in other sexually transmitted diseases among very young people. So if you're able to contract syphilis and gonorrhea, then you're able to contract HIV. So where HIV, the numbers are down and we're doing extremely well, it is still a present threat in our country. And so my concern is that we don't rest on our laurels and that people, continue to exercise responsible sexual behavior.
Okay, that is extremely important, because we don't want to become too relaxed and then other sexually transmitted diseases are up, and then that
because if we rest on it, if we don't pay attention to the numbers, if we don't continue the work that we're doing, we're going to end up where we were 15 years ago. And we've worked too hard as a country to get where we are today, and I'm very concerned about these are amazing numbers, and this is an amazing message. But as I speak to people on my way, I'm realizing that Bahamians now feel like, okay, well, I ain't got to check for it no more. It's no longer an issue. And it is absolutely an issue.
Okay. Now, Arame, how would you describe the most pressing challenges facing people living with HIV today?
We still have a big problem with stigma and discrimination in this country. And so I think the biggest issue would be, medication, the advancement of medication and care has really surpassed. Everybody knows that my sister passed away from the disease. And I wish it was available when she was alive, right? So there's amazing medicine out there. So they are living healthier lives, people who are living with HIV. The biggest issue, I think, would be stigma and discrimination, It's very difficult for people say all the time that you could live a normal life with HIV. I tend to think it's difficult because you have to take medication every day. If you don't adhere to the medication, your viral loads will become high again, which means you can transmit the disease. If you're a person who's living with integrity and you want a sexual partner, you decide that you want a partner, you have to disclose your HIV status to that person, which means you're putting yourself in a very vulnerable position because that person may not want to be with someone who's HIV positive. So now that person is walking with your secret, with your personal information, right? So there's a lot of things to consider for people living with the disease. The main thing, I think, is the discrimination.
Okay. Arame, what are your future short and long-term goals in terms of reducing HIV infection in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas?
So, in my travels and the conversations I'm having, I realize that we need more aggressive communication to young people. So we need to reside in places where young people hang out, TikTok, Instagram, because what we're hearing or what we're speaking about often in this country and in the media is the positive trends of HIV. But there's a lot of young people in this country who don't know about PrEP and PEP, right?
Okay.
PrEP is a medication that you take prior to coming in contact with HIV, and it prevents infection. So that's for people with who are high risk And I think the biggest issue is, as Bahamians, and I'm talking generally about us as a people, we're very promiscuous, but we don't want anyone to know we're promiscuous.
Yes.
We're very promiscuous, and then we're very religious. So we don't want people to know how we freak, and we don't want to have a conversation, but at least have the conversation with your doctor.
Yes.
If no one else, let your doctor know so that you could get on PrEP and protect yourself.
Thank you.
PrEP is a medication for people who may have feel they may have come in contact with the disease, and if, you know, the night before you probably, you know, got drunk, don't remember, or wake up on the side of somebody and wonder like how that happened, go to the doctor immediately. Within 72 hours you get on medication. You can, through the course of medication, prevent developing the disease.
Okay.
So UNAIDS target for up to 2030 is 95, 95, 95. That's 95 people who are HIV positive is aware and diagnosed. 95% of those people are on medication, and 95% of the people who are on medication are viral suppressed. In the country right now, we are at 93, 75, 92, and you'd ask yourself, so 93% of the people who are HIV infected in this country are aware.
Okay.
75% of those people are on medication, which is a problem, and we have to raise that number. And that's because people may feel like maybe they are in denial, or maybe they feel like, oh, I go into the bush, I ain't using this medicine, you know, I'm gonna take some herbal treatment. And then of those 75% of people who are on treatment, 92% of them are virally suppressed, sorry. So if you are in suppression, you're not able to transfer the disease to someone else.
All the best to you and your ongoing works.
Thank you.
Arame, it is always a pleasure.
Good to see you. Thank you for having me. I know I did a lot of talking, but people need to know.
They do. Thank you so much, Arame. I appreciate it.
Have a good day.